Have you ever felt like you're dating the exact same person just in a different body over and over again? Well, what if attraction isn't just random chance? What if it's actually about what you reflect? Today, we're diving into a really powerful guide to partner compatibility called the lock and key principle. The whole idea is that who you attract is a direct mirror of who you are.
And this right here, this is the core idea that changes everything. It's the premise that every single partner you meet is a kind of mirror, reflecting your own internal world and giving you a chance to grow. So what if attraction isn't random at all? What if it's a deeply meaningful process trying to teach you something important about yourself?
So what's the deal with this lock and key principle? It's actually pretty simple. For every person or lock, there's a specific key that fits. And this reframes the whole dating game. Suddenly, there are no good or bad partners. There are just compatible pairs. Think about that friction you feel in a relationship. According to this, that's not a red flag. It's actually a signpost, pointing you toward your own personal growth. So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll look at a few key partner archetypes: the power and provision guys, the lifestyle and connection types, and the partners of intense focus. And by the end, we'll see how you can go from accidentally attracting the same patterns to consciously creating the love life you want.
All right, first up, our power and provision partners. These are the guys whose core drive really centers around security, responsibility, and just establishing a strong presence in the world. Let's look at two very different types in this group.
Okay, first we have the serious and wealthy man. His core drive is all about responsibility. You can think of him as carrying a fortress on his shoulders. What he's really looking for is a woman who's not only intelligent and can be a serious partner in managing life, but who also brings joy and acts as a sanctuary for him. The big conflict here? Total exhaustion, if he feels like he's carrying that fortress all by himself.
Next up is the dominant alpha. His drive is to protect and control his territory. Now, he's often drawn to one of two polar opposites. The first is a submissive partner, which, can risk a pretty unhealthy power dynamic. The other is a woman with an equally strong core. But here's the key. She's not his competitor. She doesn't challenge his power head-on. Instead, she earns her place as a respected queen of the territory through her own grace, her intelligence, and her deep understanding of that dynamic. So let's make the distinction between these two really clear, because it's crucial. The serious man is looking for a co-manager to help him run the fortress of his life. The dominant alpha, on the other hand, is looking for a territory to protect and rule over. One wants a partner in management, the other wants a partner in reign. See the difference? They're two totally different expressions of power.
Okay, let's shift gears and move on to our second category, lifestyle and connection. Here, the focus moves away from power and provision and more towards values like freedom, family, and just good old emotional harmony.
Let's meet the freedom lover. For this man, personal space is absolutely sacred. He's not looking for someone to tame him or pin him down. The key to fits this lock is a woman who is totally self-sufficient and independent, someone with her own vibrant life, her own career, her own hobbies, her own friends. The whole relationship thrives on that mutual respect for boundaries. But it falls apart the second her independence turns into control. The moment you're checking his phone, it's over. That violates the #1 rule of this union.
Then we have the family-oriented and calm man. He wants his home to be a peaceful place of strength, not a volcano of drama. He's drawn to a woman who is calm, but still emotionally vibrant and alive. The biggest risk for this couple? The dreaded friend zone. If things get too peaceful, the passion can fizzle out, and they end up becoming more like comfortable relatives than romantic partners. Keeping that spark alive is absolutely essential here.
And now for our final category, which is maybe the most intense of them all. These next two guys are defined by some very powerful, very focused drives: raw desire and the need for the ego to be front and center. Okay, the sexually obsessed man. This isn't about performance, it's about constitution. It's just who he is. For him, desire is a primary language of connection and intimacy. He's attracted to a woman who genuinely enjoys the process, who brings enthusiasm and curiosity. The source is really clear on this. It's not about being a porn star. It's about a shared, genuine willingness to explore and develop an erotic imagination together. The conflict only becomes devastating when there's a huge mismatch in your sexual constitutions. And finally, the narcissist.
This archetype is defined by a lack of deep empathy and a real need to see his partner as a reflection of his own greatness. He's looking for a trophy partner, someone who sings his praises and basically completes his perfect public image. Now, believe it or not, according to the lock and key principle, a compatible relationship can exist here if the partner finds genuine fulfillment in supporting his spotlight. The relationship only fractures the moment she starts to compete for that attention or demand her own importance.
So after looking at all of these different locks and all of these different keys, what's the big takeaway here? Well, it's really about making a shift from accidental attraction to conscious mastery of your own love life.
And this brings us to what might be the most important message of all. This whole framework isn't about twisting yourself into a pretzel to become the perfect key for someone else's lock. No, it's a map. It's a map to help you understand your own patterns, so you can consciously choose the door you actually want to walk through and the life that's waiting for you on the other side.
So how do you actually put this into practice? It's really a three-step process. First, you have to identify your mirror. Look back at the partners you've attracted. What's the pattern? What are they showing you about yourself? Second, understand the friction. Where did things always get difficult? What lesson was that friction trying to teach you? And finally, you choose with intention. Armed with this new awareness, you can stop repeating the old cycles and consciously choose a partner who aligns with where you're actually going.
So we'll leave you with this one question to think about. If every single relationship you've ever had was a mirror, what is the reflection showing you right now? That's a powerful thought to carry with you.